Good evening. This lecture will be Be'ezrat Hashem for Henry and Raquel for speedy conversion and Aliyah to Eretz HaKodesh, and also Leilin Nishmat Meir Simcha ben Yitzchak Zev. We are between Parashat Shlach and Parashat Korach. The mutual between those two parashot is pride and ego, honor. What I always warn from, what's in it for me? What would I gain? We are now in the biggest scandal in Israel history, when politicians that declare that they are extreme right became extreme left overnight, within minutes. Just because they got offered a good position, they're willing to sell and drown Israel in endless destruction. Why is it? Because nobody cares about anyone besides himself. That's really the situation with them. In a normal place with justice, people like this would be executed in the middle of the town and stoned to death by the people who voted for them, because they are traitors. They betrayed the country. They went with the Muslim brothers who declare that they will not rest until they slaughter all Israelis and take Israel, and they went and formed the government with them and paid them 53 billion shekel for that. Not only they let the murderers become in power in Israel, they also paid them for that. How much they paid them? 53 billion. They signed 53 billion. Something like this. It's treason. It's 100% treason. But no one in Israel does anything about it. A lot of people ask me, why the religious people are silent? The answer, everyone is fed up to here. They gave up, that's it. The religious people gave up. They already know Israel is basically going down the drain, unfortunately. It's in the hands of these wicked people, murderers, corrupted politicians. And the worst part is, there's one thing they corrupted, almost everywhere in the world people are corrupted. Not like them, but are corrupted. But the problem is that they are the biggest enemies of Judaism. That's why we have to cry the most. It's one thing they steal all the money, it's one thing they are pro-Arabs, it's another thing they are lefties, and another thing they are pro-gays. The worst part is that their biggest enemy that they despise the most is the Jews that keep Torah mitzvot. Each one of those people that sits now in the government is an anti-Semite, anti-religion person. It's crazy what happened here. You have to be blind to see, not to understand that it's the punishment of Hashem to us, 100%. Hashem is punishing us big time for the way we behave, for the lack of unity, for the baseless hatred, for the corruption among our communities, for a lot of different problems. A lot of different problems. Unfortunately, I think to myself, how much more anger Hashem can have about us? Meron, 45 righteous kids died. Corona, more than 10,000 people died, most of them religious. In 1 year, 10,000 bodies. Huh? Many tzaddikim, big rabbis, a lot of important Talmidei Chachamim died in Corona. 200 billion shekel deficit. Where is the Israeli government, who now is in a $200 billion deficit because of Corona, will give the Arab Muslim brother anti-Semite Nazis another 53 billion that they can kill us faster? But where are we going to get the money to bribe them that they will form a government that this Bennett, Shem Reshaim Yirkav, his ego drive him crazy. He wants to be a prime minister. Where are you going to get 53 billion? 53 billion, how many Israelis are working? Few 100,000. 53 billion divided by few 100,000 people, that means every Israeli will become slave of Arab terrorists. That's what happened now. The poor Israelis that work as it is like slaves will have to now work to pay for the Arab terrorists to kill us and take Israel. That's the conclusion of this tragedy. So last week, when we talk about the spies who are willing to keep the nation of Israel in the desert for who knows how long, because they want to stay in power, and once you move to Israel, you have to elect a king. Once you have a king, they're not going to stay presidents, so they are worried, what's going to be with us? We're just going to become ordinary people. We cannot afford that. We want to be in power, we want to kiss our hands, president. We are the president. Each one of us is the president of a tribe. So, Nasi, so we cannot afford such a thing. So what happened? We'll bury the whole nation. But what about Hashem? Who cares about Hashem? Come on, don't be kidding. So they don't care. So in a week that such a horrible thing happened, that the spies made the entire Jewish nation die because of this sin. That's the sin that caused all the Jewish nation to die. It took 40 years to die, but everybody died except two, Yoshua ben Nun and Caleb ben Yefuneh. The only two that came out of Egypt and entered Israel are Yoshua ben Nun and Caleb ben Yefuneh. Everyone else died in the desert. Why millions died in the desert? Why? Because of this horrible sin. They all believed, the spies, that Israel is not good, that the land is not good, and God cannot really kick the goyim out of there. And they started to get into panic mode. And as results of that, all of them died. And that's exactly what's happening to us now. All of us are dying. All the yeshivot are dying. All the religion is dying because of few traders that call themselves Raidis. Who would believe such a horrible joke? Why? Because they hate religion the most. So if Hashem let these clowns take control over Israel, kick Netanyahu out, and take over Israel, when Hashem knows that there's nothing they hate more than the Torah and their religion. So if Hashem allowed it, that means that we deserve it. If we didn't deserve it, is a problem for Hashem to choke Bennett in the middle of the night? Why didn't he do it? I'm sure he would love to do it very much. But the Satan object. The Satan say, I'm sorry. I need Bennett. I need him to help me. He's my soldier. So I need him. I need Bennett to help me. Why? The religious people need to get a punishment. If they need to get a punishment and there is nobody can defend them from that punishment, I need this clown reform to go and destroy Israel and give the religious people a serious punishment. And that's exactly what's happening. I have a whole lecture explaining this concept. The concept is that the world is divided to two kinds of people. People that are servants of Hashem and people that are servants of the Satan. Who are you going to serve? It's your choice. If you're faithful to Hashem and to the truth, Hashem is using you to do wonderful things in the world, to help the rabbi, to help the yeshiva, to help the video, to help Chatan and Kala, to help sick people. He's using you for productive and positive causes. But if you are a Rasha, you have horrible ideology and you commit horrible sins, then Hashem transfer you to become a soldier of the Satan. And the Satan is using you. He knows you speak Lashon Hara, so he targets you on people that he needs to damage. He knows you're a thief, so he sends you to people that needs to lose money. He knows that you do all kinds of other things, and you promote horrible things, so he sends you to promote certain things that he very much wants to do, and that's how it works. So in a week that we are talking about those spies, what did Hashem do to us? Brought us people just like these spies, or worse. Now next week is Korach, another big tragedy. But the tragedy of Korach is different than all the other tragedy. We have the sin of the golden calf. We have the sin of the meat. They want to eat meat. Thousands are dying. They're eating meat. While they're eating meat, complaining about the manna, Hashem kills them and they continue to eat. And now we have the sin of the spies. One tragedy after the other, but Korach is a different tragedy. Who can tell me what's the difference between the tragedy of Korach to the other three tragedies? The answer is that all the other tragedies were done by the Egyptians that Moshe took out of Egypt, the Erev Rav. Moshe converted them. Every time the Torah say, A'am, 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 Oret Kishichet Amcha, they were all the Egyptians that did it. But this time, it was not the Erev Rav. It was original Jews from birth, but not just Jews. The 250 top leaders joined Datan and Aviram and Korach. 253 people declare a war against Moshe Rabbeinu that was nominated by Hashem in public. It wasn't that Moshe came like the Muhammad. I had a vision. The angel came to me and gave me the Quran. Who saw it? The snakes, the birds, the eagles, the scorpions. Who saw it? Muhammad. Give us few witnesses. Saeed was sleeping. Mustafa was sick. I was alone. No, we'll believe you anyway. No, that's not how Judaism starts, with a fairy tale of somebody that doesn't know how to read and write. No. It started in a public event in front of millions of witnesses. Everybody here, Hashem speaking to Moshe, and not to him, and not to Korach, and not to Datan, and not to Aviram. And that wasn't enough. It's unbelievable. Think about it. Let's say you hate some rabbi, let's say. And Hashem comes to you. You wanted to do something bad to him tomorrow morning. And Hashem came to you and warned you like he did with Lavan. Lavan wanted to hurt Yaakov. He was chasing him because Yaakov ran away in the middle of the night with the daughters and everything because he knew Lavan is a crook. He's never going to let him take the sheep and all that. So as Lavan is angry, his ego is hurt. My son-in-law took my daughters and all the sheep and everything, and he's running away like a thief from me. He doesn't trust me. How can he trust you? You're the biggest crook in history. A crook doesn't look at himself as the worst one. He always finds excuses why he did this, he deserved it, he owed me. You know how it is. As he's chasing Yaakov, perhaps to kill him, Hashem had to interfere with his plan and warn him. Don't dare to talk to him a word. Mitov ve'adra. Don't say bad, don't say good. We don't even need your good. Just be quiet. But over here, after they heard that Hashem nominated Moshe, they still declare a war against Moshe. What is it? How come? What, Korach is a fool? Korach is a cousin of Moshe Rabbeinu. He's a Levi. He's Minosei Aaron. He's holding the coffin. The coffin is holding the people that holds it. You don't have to carry it. It works against gravity. When you carry a box on your back, it's 100 pounds. You can walk 100 steps. If it's going to be 150 pounds, maybe you can walk 120 steps. If it's going to be 300 pounds, you walk 10 steps and you fall. The heavier it is, the harder it is to carry it, and for shorter distance. The Aaron was the other way around. No matter how heavy you are and how difficult it is for you to walk, as soon as you hold it, it carries you. You don't feel anything, no gravity, your legs does not hurt. The problem with the Aaron is that if you are Rasha, you die. Just like in Kodesh HaKodashim, if a Kohen goes inside and his mind is not pure on what he has to do, he falls and dies. They have to pull him with a rope. They tie to his leg, because no one is allowed to enter besides Kohen Gadol. If they see he doesn't come after a few minutes, they begin to pull the rope and the body comes out. Hundreds of Kohanim died like that. Every year in Beit Sheni, in a second temple, besides 4 Kohanim that were righteous and they lived for many years and to be Kohen Gadol every year, besides 4, everyone was wicked. Every one of them did not finish a cycle of 1 year. They were Kohanim Gdolim for few months. Yom Kippur arrived, they go inside and they die. Next year, die. Next year, die. Next year, die. Imagine now, you're Kohen. They come to you, they say, Yitzchak Kohen, you are the Kohen Gadol. We have to prepare you for Yom Kippur. Now you know who you are. You know you're not holy enough. An humble person say, I'm Kohen Gadol, I don't deserve to live. You want me to be Kohen Gadol? Go to my cousin, Avraham. He's a great tzaddik, all day learn Torah. Comes to Avraham, we want to make you Kohen Gadol. No, forget about me. Go to my older brother, Yosef. My older brother is a big... That's the way it should have been. Who wants to die? I would be shaking. Even if I knew I'm 100% perfect tzaddik, meaning I do not know one sin I make, and I would be so proud of my achievement, I would still not dare to walk in. Well, what is this? One tiny mistake that you were not aware of, you're dead. So they go in every year and they die every year, and next year there are plenty of volunteers. Everyone wants the job. Why? Show off. 6-month show off. Look at him. He's the new Kohen Gadol of this year. Look at him. So the Beit Sheni, all the Kohanim dying one after the other. Ego. But they don't give up on a job. So why Korach did this to Moshe? Korach was holding the Aaron and he did not die. So he said, I see in Holy Vision, Ruach HaKodesh, that Shmuel, the prophet Samuel, is coming out of me, and he is equal to Moshe and Aaron combined. If I was wicked, Hashem would make such a holy person come from my grandchildren? He cannot be. That's one reason to think I'm the best. Second reason, I am also a Levi from the royal family. Third, I carry the Aaron, and I make it, I don't die. How many people can say the same?
Anybody was able to carry the Aaron?
No, they have the... No. From that family only. Only from Shevet Levi only. Nobody else. So, there's one family that were chosen to be Nosei Aaron, and it's Korah. And he's the richest guy in the world. Until today in Israel, when they want to say about someone that is rich, they say, Ashir ka-Korach. Rich like Korah. All the professors in Israel, they know this expression, but they don't even know who Korach was. That's how dumb they are. Ask the professor in the Hebrew University, excuse me, Mr. Professor or Doctor, you just used the expression Ashir ka-Korach. What does it mean? Where does this expression come from? Really, good question. I have to look in Google later. Remind me. Well, maybe Google will save the professor. We also have an expression in Hebrew called Yotze Dofen, meaning exceptional. Exceptional. Yotze Dofen, literally, Yotze means to go out. Dofen means from the side. How going out from the side equal to exceptional? How? The answer is, in the time of Chazal, they used to make cesarean surgeries for pregnant women. It's nothing new. Chachamim made surgeries like you cannot believe. They made liposuction. They eliminated the nerve system of the feet of the soldiers that they want, when they run, it won't hurt. They were able to make, they had a paste that they made from special plants that if you don't see good, nobody needed glasses. In the time of everybody, they put it in the back of your neck. You go to sleep, you wake up in the morning, you see 20/20. All kinds of things like this that the Gemara described, medicine that the Chachamim had. I wish we had it today. For instance, David HaMelech knew how to remove the splint. One doctor told me nobody in the world knows how to do it. That's what he told me. Maybe he's wrong, I don't know. Splint. Splint. Spleen.
Oh, then you can run fast.
You can run fast. If you remove the spleen, you don't get tired when you run. Why David HaMelech 3,000 years ago operated on his soldier, removed their spleen, and made special cuts in their feet, and now they don't feel any pain because you know how after a few minutes your shoes get ripped, and you're in the middle of a battle. You run on thorns and rocks and who knows what, and they keep going into your feet, and if you're going to have pain, you're not going to be able to walk. So in order for the soldiers to stay, they used to do these things. Do you know anyone who knows how to do such things? So they used to do things 3,000 years ago that some of them today we don't know. Today we have surgeries that they didn't know to do back then also. But that's 3,000 years later. So Korach was very, very rich. How he became so rich? He found the treasure that Yosef HaTzadik was the minister of finance of Egypt. Who is the new minister of finance of Israel now? The biggest Jewish Nazi on earth. Among Jews you also have some Nazis, unfortunately. Lieberman, the KGB spy. He is now in charge of all the money. The cat will watch the cheese. Pure, sweet cat. Make sure nobody eats the cheese. The biggest corrupted thief in the history of Israel. You know what it is? He's the only one that everyone unanimously agree that is the most corrupted person in Israel. The left, the right, the people on television. Nobody even question it. And Bibi. Half of Israel think is corrupted, the other half defend him seriously. Lieberman, nobody even tried to defend him. What's the news? We already know he gets millions of dollars from all over. And he does whatever he wants. So he's going to watch the money now. Today he nominated an assistant. One young Israeli Nebuch. You look at his face. Doesn't look like a bad person. Why would he put a 30 years old person to be his right-hand man? That whatever he will do, he will be quiet. It's not going to take 50 years old, serious professor, some judge, lawyer, someone who will give him a position. You took a little puppet. Take your candy, go buy yourself ice cream, and let me eat the cheese. That's Lieberman, who just said a month ago in an interview, you have to put all the Haredim, meaning ultra-Orthodox, you have to put all the Haredim in a wheelbarrow and dump them to the garbage in a live interview. Imagine now Joe Biden or Kamala or Bernie or even Trump would say you have to take all the black people, put them in a wheelbarrow and dump them directly to the garbage. What would happen here in America? What do you think would happen? Probably riots all over, no? Half of America, there were riots for nothing. One crazy police killed a black guy, now all of us got attacked. What do we have to do with that? We don't want to murder any black people. We are not justifying what he did. Why you come after us? Why you burn Mercedes dealer and BMW in Manhattan? Why you hitting cops in the streets of Manhattan? What did this cop has to do with the other one over there? He's in New York. Maybe this cop is a Democrat. Maybe he's a liberal Jew. Maybe he's voting for the United Negro Fund. Maybe this guy that you burn his dealership is another liberal Jew who gave already $100 million to the United Negro Fund. Why are you burning his dealership? They care. They really care. So imagine in America if someone would say about any minority. It would be a disaster. He say it on TV and nobody makes a beep. All the lefties are happy. Oh, he gave it to them, to the Orthodox. That's what's happening now. Tough. Don't worry, everyone, in the end, I'm jumping to the end, not to upset you too much. The hand is always happy in a movie of Hashem, just like in the Turkish movies. They torture you for an hour and a half. In the last minute and a half, wow, he didn't die. Ahmed didn't die. He showed up. Oh, all the Jewish ladies with the cleaning their tears. I'm so happy. Why are you happy, Mom? Ahmed didn't die. They only thought he died. Look, he showed up. Mom, it's a movie. It's fake. They'll sit and cry. That's Turkish movies. By Hashem, the end will be happy. Why? Because all the wicked people will get what they deserve. All of them, with no exception. Until it will happen, that's the sad part. What can we do? It will be a process. It's like a doctor say to you, don't worry, I can cure you from your cancer. Guarantee. I've done it hundreds of times. It always worked. But it's 6 months of serious struggle. You're going to be in bed for 2 months. You won't be able to eat. You're going to have horrible pain. You're going to need painkiller. It will take 3 months until you'll be able to walk a little bit, 1 minute a day, and this and that. And then you're going to have scars. You know, well, you're just thinking about the process, you get depressed. But in the end, you'll be back to normal, brand new. No one will ever know you were sick. But until it will happen, your heart will come out 70 times. That's reality. So Korach is thinking, if Hashem would like me, why would He make me the richest guy in the world? And I'm Levi, and I carry the Aaron, and Shmuel comes from me. And what do I see? Corruption. Moshe gives all the jobs for him and his brother. What got them? You have to see, the Gemara says many times, בדרך שאדם רוצה ללך מוליכים אותו. If you're a jealous person that looking for honor and pride and ego and power and control, that's when the Satan feed you with what you are interested in. You are interested in dirty movies, the Satan feed you with dirty movies. You are interested with all kinds of horrible, bad things, non-kosher meat, the Satan will feed you with that. You get a call, come, there's a birthday party. Oh, by Chris. Don't worry, it's going to be Hebrew national hot dogs. What about the grill? How much ham was on a grill over there? So whatever you want, that's what you get. You want women, the women will come. You want poison, the poison will come. בדרך שאדם רוצה לך מוליכים אותו. He wants power and ego. What happened? The Satan instigates. The Satan uses his wife. Korach, don't be an idiot. Don't you see Moshe make fun at you? How long are you going to be quiet? He took the job to himself, now his brother, nephews. What's going on over here? When Nadav and Avihu died, everybody was shocked and sad, right? And Korach understood that that's a sign that I'm right. Moshe gave Aaron and the mafia of his family the control, and Hashem punished them. You see, that means I'm right. I am right. He built up the case in his head. There was another one on Ben Pelet. They also wanted to get him with them. When they came to collect him from his house, his wife took his cover off the head. As soon as they saw the hair of a woman, they all ran like they saw the devil. Why? What? You took out your cover? Remember, there was no $5,000 wigs and not $500 wigs back then. So the question now, I don't understand. Machloket is the worst sin in the Torah. The worst. Even children die. It's like a pandemic. It kills everyone. No mercy. Someone who's involved with machloket, his life is destroyed. We see it hundreds of times over the years. So they come to get him to rebel against Moshe and Hashem. They're not afraid of that. They're not afraid to join Korach, even though they get nothing out of it. They just come to support him. They're not afraid to join him to go and attack Moshe Rabbeinu that they just heard that Hashem spoke to. And he gave the Torah through Moshe. That's not enough for them to understand that they play with fire. But they are worried about seeing the hair of a woman. Do you understand what's going on? That reminds me about the yeshiva. There was a yeshiva somewhere in the world, and the Hasidim over there, they buy their own personal stuff, and they put it in the fridge. One guy likes milk, so every day he buys a bottle of milk, he puts it in the fridge. And he wrote on it with a marker, private. He comes by noon, half of it was used. How can it be? I wrote private. Private? So maybe someone didn't realize, he wasn't thinking. The next day he comes, also private. Half of the bottle was used. The third day already put a big piece of paper, Gezel, I'm not mochel. I do not forgive. Don't touch it. Private. 3 exclamation point. No. Then he comes. Shh. Half of the bottle is still empty. What? I wrote Gezel, not mochel. Nobody cares. He's already depressed. What's going to be? Every day, half of my milk is gone. The next day, he wrote, Chalav Stam, Chalav Akum, not Chalav Israel. Nobody touched. Gezel Deoraita, that you cannot enter heaven from that if you stole, then I'll worry about. Chalav Israel, if it's not Chalav Israel, they worry about. Chalav Israel, Chalav Akum, if you get 1,000,000 bottles of Chalav Akum, the chance that one of them will not be a milk cow, one of them is close to 0. 1 out of 1,000,000. Nobody uses other milk today. If you want to use camel milk, it costs 6 times more. No companies will pay 6 times more, so that's no point. Pig milk, there's no quantity to supply. You have plenty of cows and goats and sheep. That's the milk that people use today in the world for cheese. So basically all milk in the world is kosher milk. It's natural, come from the animals. So the chance that the milk will be bad is very, very small. Especially they can get huge fines from the government. Rav Moshe Feinstein already said that they're afraid very much to mess with the government. Their stock will crash. So, it's very nice. We buy Chalav Israel, beautiful. The Jew supervises it from the beginning to the end, make sure, okay, beautiful. Aval, you compare this to stealing? You actually pour yourself a cup after someone warned not to touch, it's Gezel, and you still take it, that means you Rasha Merusha. What is the point of sitting and learning Gemara all day? First, be a human being. A guy from the kibbutz with the earring over here and a ponytail, you know, like a horse he looks, is already better in the eyes of Hashem than you. He wouldn't do it. This kibbutznik wouldn't touch the milk if he has a sign. So this guy with his beautiful beard and sombrero, every day Gezel with a smile. Ich weiß nicht. Yalla. But this guy is the Sheget. Very, very, the world is olam hafuch. That's how the Satan fool all of us. The Satan fool all of us. They worry about this, they worry about that. In the end, I got an email this week. It was from Israel. I need to get an advice from you about yeshiva in Israel. I answer, go to local rabbis in Israel who knows the yeshivot over there, where you live. I can't give you advice from remote control. No, it's a general question. Usually, After that, people get the point, but there's a stubborn one. No, it's a general question. Okay, record your question and I answer. No time for phone calls. Who has time now for phone calls? They keep you 20 minutes on the phone, each phone. Finish your day. So there is a recording. I'm worried. Oh, my wife is worried. Which yeshiva to send the kids to? To secular, boys and girls together, little kids, or to the Orthodox one we have in our town, which is Chabad. That's the dilemma. So I said, it's obvious that you should send your kids to the most Orthodox, most serious yeshiva, that they should give them the proper education. Putting kids, boys with girls together to grow up with girls in school, elementary school, that's the end of them. So the answer is, no, but my wife worry if we put him only with boys that he won't have, he won't join the abomination parade. That's what she's worried about. So I said, usually those who become like that do not come from yeshivot. A small percentage come from yeshivot, but 99.9% of them come from the worst public schools in the world, because over there they keep brainwash the kids to become like that, and they make it perfectly fine. Definitely there's no Orthodox yeshiva who teach to become like that. That's for sure. Besides the reform, Shem Reshaim Yirkav, that they are worse than anyone you can think of. But Orthodox yeshiva, they don't teach to be like that, to follow abomination. So I said, if I would be you, I would even move to a more serious religious place and put the kids in a very strict yeshiva. After they're wasting about 40 minutes from my time back and forth, then the reply say, yeah, but Rabbi, but my wife do not cover her hair and she wear pants. I say, oh, you should have started with that. That's where the problem begins. When the mother is secular, she's worried if the kid will go to Chabad or will go to Mamlachti, meaning boys and girls together. That's what she's worried about. She's not worried that the kids will become like her, watching TV, walking like, dressed like a non-religious person, and get the impression that there's no problem to be a sinner. From that, she's not worried. She's worried maybe in a school they're going to learn something from a kid in a yeshiva, which this fear exists. It's not that it doesn't. It happened a few times in the past. It's not that it doesn't happen, but the chance is much, much, much smaller. It's that's how the mind of the people are twisted. Or sometimes, here I give you another example. There's a guy tzaddik, I Baruch Hashem had the zchut to make him Baal Tshuva. He already mamash became Ben Torah, learning every day, love Torah, change his entire hashkafa. So he's talking to me about putting his kids in yeshivot, and he's fighting with his wife. And then through the conversation, what does he say? I wish, Rabbi, my wife is not religious. She's not Shomer Shabbat. I'm very religious, but she's on Shabbat watching TV. I said, oh, so you have TV in the house? And your children are exposed to the TV, the Israeli filthy TV? It's poison to the brain. Injection directly to the brain. So your kids watching TV, please don't ask me any question about children education. We are wasting our time. Your children are dead already. There's no point of educating dead people. You destroyed your kids. No matter what advice I'm going to give you, these kids watching dirt and gays and curses and naked people and lashon hara and shooting and killing and chopping heads from morning to night every day. And you're asking me what education to give them? Are you out of your mind? What is wrong? What is wrong with these people? It's like someone who injects heroin to his son veins from morning to night, and you say, Rabbi, how exactly should put the tefillin? Should he make the shin here like Chabad, or we the Sfaradim don't do it? That's what you worry about now? That's basically what's going on today with the people's mind. That's what they worry about, things that you don't know if to laugh or to cry. That's what's going on. So Korach has, the Satan is feeding his ego. What? Who is Moshe compared to you? Look at him. You speak. Look at you, how charismatic you are. When you speak, everyone is in shock. You have the power. Like they say, it's very charismatic, Rabbi. Very charismatic. And you have the money. You have the power to change the world. You are from the royal family. Moshe can barely speak. Look at him, he has speech problem. He's not rich like you. Why would he control everything? You gotta take some power from him. That's how he builds the case. And his wife, she's the worst. Don't give up. What kind of a loser you are. I thought I marry a serious man. On Ben Pelet, his wife told him, why are you gonna join him? What are you gonna get out of it? What are you going against Moshe for him? Don't you see he's manipulating all of you? Stay here. She put him in a bed, she gave him some wine, he fell asleep. They came, she took out her cover. Oh, she gets, no. This is the kind of stupidity that people can have. They worry about seeing her hair, but they're not worried about rebelling against Hashem's servant. They're not worried about that. They're not afraid. Wow, maybe we're making a mistake that will destroy us for eternity. Watching a woman's hair will not destroy you for eternity. It's a sin. Not supposed to look. Going and fighting against Moshe Rabbeinu, that you heard that Hashem is talking to him. He didn't speak to you or to him or to anyone else. To him only. And you still have the nerve to declare a war? It just show you how brilliant the Satan is, that when he builds a case in your head, very difficult to resist. There was one person, one Hasidic Rebbe, that remembered that one of his reincarnation, he actually lived in that generation. Yismach Moshe. Satmar? Satmar Rebbe, Yismach Moshe. How many years ago was that? 200 years ago. The Yismach Moshe, one of the first Satmar Rebbes. So he remembered his past life. Even today, there are people in the world who remember their past reincarnation. But he remembered a reincarnation from 3,000 years ago. Huh? He remembered all the reincarnation? So he was actually in the time when Moshe and Korach had the argument. Next week, there's no lecture. But if we had a lecture, then I will give you the whole speech that Korach gave to the people. How Moshe is fooling you, he's taking all the money and the donation, and everything goes to the Kohen, which is his brother, and they take the Maasrot, and they take your field, and they take the Bechor, and they take parts of the animals, and they take the skins, the leathers, and what? Look at this. The skins they make tefillin from. Do you know how expensive it is? There are 3 different kinds of quality of the leather that you make tefillin. Sug Aleph, Sug Bet, Sug Gimel. After the most precious factories take Sug Aleph, what's left is Sug Bet. Sug Gimel is the worst. Different. Why the expensive tefillin, they want Sug Aleph? It's much easier to work with. Strong and soft, you can work with it. Usually, which leather is the best leather in the world for tefillin? Huh? American leather. Leather from America is more expensive 20% than other leather. The market of tefillin, when you want superb, unique one, is boiling. By the Ashkenazim, yeah, you need a mortgage to buy tefillin. Today I was looking for very, very high level of Ashkenazi tefillin, checking different sofrim. One sofer asked only for the parshiyot $3,000 in Israel. Just for the parshiyot. And the batim will be probably another 1,000 with all the special extras, handmade 100% with the stripe and achnasa and everything. So there will be the cost of the dealer, 4,000. Until he sell it to the store, probably almost 5,000, and the store will add another 2,000 to it, it will be 7,000. Huh? You go directly to the sofer. You'll be surprised. A lot of people buy it in stores. They have stores, reliable stores. I'm not talking Judaica stores. Real stores, that you can rely on them. He told me before the lecture that they pay thousands of dollars for tefillin. $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 for tefillin. Unbelievable. I have one pair of tefillin. I could not get the Rashi one for myself. I got Rabbeinu Tam. Special tefillin, you cannot get it anywhere in the world. It's Kavanot HaRashash. Every name of Hashem goes to the mikveh, comes out, all the kavanot of the Rashash, hundreds of kavanot, very, very, probably worth $50,000 today. No one knows how to write it today. This was a student of Rav Mordechai Sharabi, who was the biggest mekubal. But today, who do you have? You know how much strength you need every time the name of Hashem to be toivel and this? It's 20 times more work to write such a tefillin. But I was stupid. I had already Rashi, so I wanted Rabbeinu Tam. So I bought Rabbeinu Tam. I should have bought Rashi the same time when it was still available. When I already wanted Rashi, wait 7 years waiting. Very expensive. Back 20 years ago was maybe $2,000 or $3,000. Today, it will be a lot more. But again, once you have something that you cannot get, the price only go up. It's demand. Do you know what I just found out? The cost of construction tripled because of Corona. It was $500,000 to build a house. Now it's $1.5 million to build a house. Besides the land, you still have to buy the lot. The lot could be in Brooklyn near $1 million, and another more than $1 million. No, but depend where. Not everywhere is flatbush, top block. Let's say you buy in a regular block here, $1 million a lot, plus $1.5 million to build it. So that's the cost of the builder. And then he will have to sell it for $3.5 million, right? After a year or two of work, with all the interest he pay on the loans and all that. So basically, a house here, nice house, 5,000 square feet will be $3.5 million. An extra $1 million because of the cost of construction. So I asked the guy who told me that, which is a builder, I hope it's only temporary. It's going to come down. So usually when the prices went up, now once it went down. That's very bad news. Because young couples that had one day a dream to buy a house, now it's going to be a dream of a lifetime. Meaning it will never materialize. Who can afford? Huh? You have a lot of rich Hasidim and they buy apartments for their children. What do you want me to tell you? Obviously, if there is people building, that means there is demand for it. When there's not going to be demand, you will see nobody builds. That's it. So let's move on. So what do we have, Rabotai? We have, this week, as I said, Parashat Korach come, and wonder happened. Yesterday, the ground in Israel opened up exactly like it happened to Korach and his people. In a parking lot of a hospital, Sha'arei Tzedek, I think it's in Jerusalem. Shh! The land opened up and swallowed all the cars. Luckily, nobody died. That's Hashem showing us every week what happens in the world relates to my Torah. Don't you want to open up your eyes? Right away on WhatsApp, thousands of messages. Israelis got the point, quick, the religious one. Parashat Korach, look what happened. The ground opened up again. In which hospital? Sha'arei Tzedek, Gate of Justice. That's the name of the hospital. Meaning soon the justice will come to everybody. That's what Hashem shows. You see, it's no problem for me to open the ground. You have to see in the video, they have security cameras, how the cars get swallowed. In 1 second. Gone. Gone. Next time, I hope Hashem will do it in a different place. Huh? Why in a parking lot? Should do it somewhere else, you know where. Top, let's move on. Now we have the desire to receive honor. They're not honoring me. They're not inviting me. Look where they put me in a wedding with the back to the band. Look how they threw me like a dog in a corner. Look how they're now waiting for me. They started the meal without me. Every little thing bothers him. He is sitting with his friends. He went to the bathroom. He comes back. He sees they're already benched. You know, you have 20 guys on the table. You forgot that he's not there. Nothing intentional. Fuming. Can't you wait? What kind of selfish people you are? Nobody care anymore. This, that. Every little thing, it's a fight. Let me read to you something interesting. Let me read it to you. The Mesilat Yesharim, Path to the Just, end of chapter 11. Speaking about Midat HaNekiyut, to be clean. Yetera alea, higher than that. Chemdat HaKavod. A person is eager to receive honor, respect. His ego is boiling. כי כבר היה אפשר שיכבוש האדם את יצרו על הממון ועל שאר הנאות. It would be possible that a person will overcome his desire for money. You can train yourself to stop being greedy, to stop being stingy, to stop killing yourself for money, to stop fighting for money, to stop thinking about materialism all the time, which is a serious addiction. So it's possible to train yourself over a period of time to become a simple, down-to-earth person. Or other desires, food, jewelry, women, all kinds of things like that. But the honor, הכבוד, הוא הדוחק, the energy that motivates you and pushes you always to that direction is the honor. Because you cannot stand the situation that your friends are higher than you. At work, at school, in a synagogue, in yeshiva. ועל זה נכשלו רבים ונאבדו. Thousands of people lost everything just because of that. קשה הכבוד מהתאווה. The honor is harder than the desire. How can we prove it? I gave yesterday 2 examples. You're going to shidduch. You are a real pig. You can see food and not attack. It never happened before. Every time before the host leave the plate on the table, before he reached the table, your hand is in it already. You can't wait 2 seconds until it would land. While landing, you already turn your cell phone on. Can't wait another minute to be on the ground. Why? Addiction. Same thing over here. Now you go in a shidduch. Great girl, class. Wow. The dream of your life. And you order in a restaurant something and they just serve it. Or usually, before it comes down to the table, your hand is already on alert. But now you have a girl that may become your wife. You don't want to make a bad impression. So you have a serious conflict. Your nature, which is a pig, and your will to get a great wife. And a great wife does not want a pig. And you understand that in your mind. So now, your urge, especially if you're hungry, to attack. You smile. Can I serve you? What would you like? You're on fire inside. Saliva is dripping already. Go like this, that she won't realize. Can I give you? Why don't you eat, Moshe? No, I'm good. Eat something. Okay, I'll taste one. Eat the one, I get worse now. It's really good. You want to finish the other 5. But you're looking at that, you don't even pay attention to what she's talking about. Because all you are worried about is when is she going to go to the bathroom that can attack the plate. So that's a conflict between your nature and honor. You don't want to ruin your honor, your reputation, your dignity. You don't want her to think you're a pig. She's going to call the shotchan tomorrow and say, what, you set me up with such a person? You can't see food without attacking it? How do you set me up with such a guy? So you want to put the show that you control your desire. So you're willing to control your desire to keep your honor in a high level. So which one of the 2 wins? The honor. Smoker, Chiloni, secular, not Shidduchim. He gets out of the shower, get dressed, he goes to the bar. Some people go to the field to hunt animals, some people go to the bar. He's a hunter. He comes to the bar, he's about to pull a cigarette and light it, and a girl smiled to him. So he didn't touch the cigarette, he started to talk. As he's about to offer her, maybe we'll go out to smoke, she just said, I hate smokers so much, I can't breathe, what's going on here, look how much smoke. Now for 2 more hours, you're gonna sit and eat your heart, dying to light a cigarette, but you don't want to ruin it for yourself. So you see that even though it took 10 years, now one time you're willing to go 2 hours without smoking. When you have something to do with your reputation now, you're putting a show, you're willing to suffer. Meaning, the honor can drive a person to a very high or very low place. There was one guy in the yeshiva, Rav Michael Yehuda Lefkovich told the story. Bachur Tzair came to Hebron. Hebron is one of the best yeshivot in the world. So he came to Hebron, and he was a student there. Rav Michael was a Bachur at that time. They both were young, learning together in yeshiva. Rav Michael Yehuda later became Gdol Ador, one of the top rabbis in the world. When the guy came to the yeshiva, he showed him, he directed him what to learn, how to learn. The boy had a huge talent, great talent. And he was matmid, meaning hard-working learner, did not waste a minute. Was thirsty and was asking a lot of questions and progressing and learning day and night. People were shocked by his devotion. The rabbi said one of the night he banged, while he was learning, he banged on a chair next to him. Sometimes when you learn, you bang on the table, which was made from metal. In the morning, Rav Leib Chasman, the mashgiach of the yeshiva Zatzal, that sleeps underneath with his wife, he has a room there. He came up in the morning and he said, one thing, I did not sleep all night from your banging, it's okay. But my wife, the Rebbitzin, she's sick. And she also couldn't sleep all night. I think you should ask her for forgiveness. So the guy's ego got hurt. Like, well, I'm learning all night instead of being impressed that I'm learning. You're telling me about the banging. One time they asked him, what do you like the most in life? In yeshiva, they had question. Everybody should say what he loved the most. His answer was, Ani ohev Torah vekavod. I love Torah and honor. I love to be honored. I want people to notice me. I want everyone to think I'm the best. Top. At one point, the desire for honor overcame the desire for Torah. And that's very dangerous. Because he left the yeshiva and went to university. And went to law. And learned and became a judge in the Israeli Supreme Court. The only judge in the Israeli Supreme Court with the black yarmulke was this guy. And all these years in Supreme Court he sat with the black yarmulke until he went to pension. He was a judge for many years. Rav Michael Yehuda says the hunger for honor destroyed that person and he lost his entire life. The boys in the yeshiva, when they heard the Rebbe say he lost all his life, they say, Rabbi, but after all, he's an observant Jew. Still Shomer Shabbos, still eat kosher, no? Rav Michael say, so what? He's an infidel. He's a heretic. How can you be a judge in a secular court? It's the biggest rasha on earth. Just like this woman here in Borough Park became a judge in a court here in Manhattan. Once you step in a court, you're already a big rasha. Not allowed to put mezuzah there. Because they are Sodom and Gomorrah laws against Hashem. Every court in the world is an enemy of God. They marry gays, they give rights to gays, they do all kinds of horrible things against the laws of God. 100%. If a father gave a smack to his son, they'll take all the children away from you. That's not what the Torah says to do. Who gave them permission to steal your kids? Oh, no, you're offensive. No. Today, nobody should ever touch their children because it doesn't work anymore. But in the old generation, that was very productive. A kid get one smack. 1 year, you don't hear one problem with him. Today, it's not going to help because they rebel more. Because today, with the internet and the filthy environment and the brainwash that the kids hear all the time, call 911, do this, you're only going to reach the opposite today. But King Solomon say you should give the kids a lot of love and also be very strict with them. They deserve a patch or two here and there. But today, since the generation is full of chutzpah, no patches whatsoever to children, nothing. You gotta be very careful. Even though you read in the holy books of hundreds of years ago that sometimes a kid needs a good smack, you gotta be very careful because sometimes that smack can make him go off the derech, and thousands of kids went off the derech because of that. You gotta be very careful. Because today we live in a generation like the Gemara in Masechet Sotah said that the face of the generation is like the face of a dog, and dog is very arrogant, he's barking, he wants to attack even strangers for no reasons. And everybody today is full of ego and arrogance, and the kids have chutzpah and ungratefulness and the way they behave. On top of it, you're going to give them a smack, wait and see what they're going to do to you. Just for that smack. You got to be very, very careful. Good kids don't need ever a smack. But that's easy. You got lucky. They love Torah, they see, they learn. They're not doing anything stupid. The problem is with the kids that don't like to learn. They are the one who take your heart out 500 times a week. And you got to know how to behave with them. Next thing, he comes with his hair like this. Next thing, all of a sudden, he smells like a cigarette. And then I smells like something else. One thing leads to another. Next thing, he gets a smartphone. All of a sudden, someone's sewing on the bus with a girl. One thing leads to another. Huh? Today, the first step is to get a smartphone. Obviously, they saw someone with that. Hey, can I see? Can I see? The Yetzer Hara is very clever. He knows how to, attract your attention, and that's what destroys you quickly. Within a month, the kid is finished. Once he gets a smartphone, he's finished. So this became a judge. So they said to the rabbi, but he was still religious. The rabbi answered, he failed in his life, and there's no argument about it. Rav Michael Yehuda was very, very humble. He's not the aggressive kind. You have to know him well to know that from him to say such a sentence about a Jew, that means this Jew is destroyed, really. Because anyone else that had a little thing to say positive about him, he would stick to the positive. But he gave him a fail mark. He failed in his life. Once you become a criminal lawyer, you become a criminal. The lawyer is not relevant anymore. Criminal lawyer break the laws of the Torah every minute of his job. He shows up to court, he sues people, he takes money out of people, and it is not according to the Torah. So you make people pay your client money that it's gezel deoraita. A sister sued the brothers. The father left money and he did not write a will. He has 3 sons and 2 daughters. According to the Torah, the sons inherit all the money. Let's say the mother died already. 3 boys left and 2 girls. The 2 girls want also 20% each. It's against the Torah. They want to sue you in court in Tel Aviv. The court of Israel will split it 20% to each one. That it's gezel. The 2 sisters are thieves deoraita. They're never going to enter heaven just for that. They have to come back in reincarnation and give back the money to the 3 brothers that they stole it from. And who helped them? The lawyer with the yarmulke on his head. Cooperating with laws of Sodom. Laws of Sodom. If you have a boyfriend, you got married to him, and you work for El Al, so he's going to help you to sue El Al that you can get free tickets as his husband. Hashem allows such thing? It's abomination. Death penalty. He gets any right, someone like that? According to the Torah, read in the Torah, it's death by stoning and a cut for the soul. And you with the yarmulke have to fight for Itzik and Avi that wants to live together. That it's his husband, he deserves to get rights. Think about it. Not only that, he was married to a woman and have kids. He divorced the woman and became gay. It's a popular thing today, Sodom. Now he has a boyfriend and he died. The boyfriend sue, I'm his husband. I deserve to get the money. He goes and sue the children. And who has to help him? A religious lawyer. He's a lawyer, no? He has to go by the law of the land. 5 million years in hell, it's not enough to pay that lawyer. Don't ever be jealous with criminal lawyers. Their end will be the worst of everyone. The worst. Because it's not one-time crime. It's every day. And the judge, imagine religious judge has to send people to prison for something the Torah says it's not even a crime. Like inside information in stocks. Someone told you, buy this stock, next week it's going to go up. How do you know? My uncle is the vice president. He told me they did very good. You go, you buy $200,000 stock, you wait a week, it jumped to 400. FBI, knock on your door. Hello? Hi, Mr. Cohen. Yes. Come with us for investigation. We see your record. You always buy 10,000, 5,000. All of a sudden you bought 200,000 and just that stock doubled. Tell us who gave you the information. You're going to 6 years in prison and $10 million fine. But if you tell us who gave you the tip, we will offer you a deal, only 2 years in prison and only $4 million. They put pressure on you, will destroy you, will freeze your account. Your children will not be able to show their face anywhere. We will put you in a newspaper. We'll show the whole world that we take you with handcuffs. They destroy you. They bring you to this Hasidic judge here in Manhattan. She has no leverage. She must do what the law says, the law of Sodom. She has to send you to prison. According to the Torah, you did nothing wrong. You're fully tzaddik. She destroyed your life, the life of your wife, the life of your children, and in Olam Haba, she has to pay for it. What was the urge to become a judge in a secular court? Rav Ovadia Yosef has a long answer about it. You read it, you faint. Faint. So rabbis that go to those places and stick mezuzah, they're sinners. It's a sin to put mezuzah there. It's makom tameh. You don't put in a prostitution home, you don't put mezuzah in the rooms. It's chilul Hashem. Why are you going to put mezuzah over there? Why you even enter the place? Someone who sells porks to Jews, you put mezuzah in a store? What are you, normal? How stupid people can be. So secular court is a disaster. Disaster. So somebody told me, but who's going to defend the Jews? They also need a lawyer to defend them. There's plenty of goyim that for money will defend you, don't worry. Get a good one, pay money, he's going to do the job, he cares about his reputation, he doesn't ever want to lose a case, his ego drives him. That's what he brags about. I represented 80 clients, 78 of them were not guilty. What a record. Everybody's dreaming for the day that he will be the public defender. Not public defender, the prosecutor, no, working for the city. It's going to be a big shot, and then he's going to be the minister of justice until he's going to be in charge of all the courts or judge in the Supreme Court. What are you dreaming about nonsense? This is going to destroy your soul for eternity. Same thing over here. This guy left Hebron Yeshiva. He could have been Gdol Ador. If Rav Michael became Gdol Ador, he could also be Gdol Ador. What he became in the end? The zero of the door. A judge. A joke. Why people wants to be judge? They enjoy to play God. I have a cousin, he was a judge in a court of Haifa. Before he was a judge, he was a very successful lawyer. Not religious. One thing you can say about him is a very honest person. Really. Like square. It's the type of guy that will never do all kinds of dirty tricks, like this. And he became a judge. If secular judges would be like him, the situation wouldn't be so bad. Because at least this guy, you cannot give him bribe, or you cannot make him lie. Very straight. He always got good marks. Lawyers give judges marks in Israel once a year. All his marks was 5 stars. All of it. In all different fields. All lawyers rated him as top judge. So, what happened with him that, he was a judge in a court, and one time he had to decide about 20 Hasidim that fought the tractors of the city. They wanted to dig a hole, like make an underpass, and they found graves. Graves in Israel. It could be Jewish graves. So the Hasidim, they run, they fight, they lay on the floor. They don't let the tractor work. So they call the police. The police arrest them, break their bones, take them to the jail. And now they bring him to the judge to decide if to release them with bail or to keep them in arrest. So his mother told me now he has a case with Hasidim. I said, let me give him a call. I called him up. I said, I heard you dealing with the case of those Hasidim that was on the news. He said, I'm not allowed to speak about the cases. Even when you want to send him an email, you're not allowed to. He does not allowed to have a private email. It's something gov.il. He has to go through the government, meaning that they must keep the record of everything. I say to him, cut the nonsense. Just let me 1 minute talk. I'm not asking you for permission. I told him, just tomorrow before you rule about these Hasidim, just imagine one thing. That the graves over there, one of them is your father, Alav Shalom, that is buried over there in the land, and the city brings tractors to grab his head, to grab his graves, and turn it into dust. Those are Jews that buried there, and these people come to get beaten up to protect their bodies, the holiness of the bodies, of the graves, and now they brought to justice and they're going to go to jail. Just think about it. The people ran and got beaten up to protect your father's grave, and now they want to send them to jail for that. The next day released all of them, no bail, no nothing. I just show you, if I didn't call him, would keep them in jail. A lot of them wouldn't have money to pay bail. The whole system is against Hashem. It's all corrupted. You understand? So, therefore, what are you going to do? You're going to this place. You have to rule against the rules of the Torah. So, we're moving on. There was there was a famous story in the Gemara. There is a famous story in Sanhedrin Kuf Bet 102. The Mesilat Yesharim brings it back to the just. Yerovam ben Nevat. Yerovam Nevat Otiot Bennett. מה זה ירובעם? ירוב is ריב. ריב with the people. Fight with the nation. That's what now became with Bennett. He is the most hated guy in Israel. Some of the lefties likes him because he's helping to get rid of Netanyahu. But even the lefties say, a crook like him, we don't remember in the history of Israel. Even the lefties, who he served their purpose, I heard one of them saying, such a dirty thing, a person will sell his entire ideology in a minute, after years of preaching one thing, and all of a sudden doing the total opposite that he warned that nobody should ever do, and he will never dare to do such thing. In a minute he did all of that. Never saw something like that. In politics all over the world, the Arabs today in Egypt, on the nose, an Arabic guy say, what happened to the Israeli politician? They lost their mind. Bennett, the Raidi, is sitting with the Muslim brother. Do you believe how dumb the Israeli became? The Arabs laughing at us. It's crazy. The Arabs cannot believe that a person that was right sitting with Muslim brothers. The Muslim brothers of Morsi. And Morsi is very hated in Egypt. You know, he made the revolution, he kicked Mubarak. So this reporter, he hates the Muslim brothers. And he's dreaming now, how can it be that the right person with the little tiny yarmulke on his head joining the Muslim brother to destroy Israel? They don't understand it. What's going on? There was one like this, Yerovam ben Navat. The difference between Bennett and Navat, even though it's the same letters, Yerovam ben Navat knew the whole Torah in the middle of the night while he was asleep. Every question you ask him, he knew. He knew the whole Torah. Every subject in the Torah, he could give you 127 different lectures about it. That's how many angles he had. The Gemara say, when he died, HaKadosh Baruch Hu held him in his alphet. Which alphet? The soul, once you die, the soul goes into a special spiritual alphet. It's called Chaluka de Rabbanan, special kilt. It's spiritual, but it looks material. That's how you dress in the next world. Special outfit. Hashem held it. And he said to him, do tshuva. Stop with your nonsense. And you, and me, and you, and Ben Ishai, meaning David HaMelech, will enjoy together in heaven. He asked him, who's first, me or Ben Ishai? Me Barosh. Who's going to head first? Hashem told him, Ben Ishai, David. I'm not interested. He's a step before entering hell now. Hashem showed him, you see the oven over there? Oven number 17 is your new resident. For thousands of years. Soon you will understand why. But I still remember all the Torah you learn. I don't want to wipe it out like this, like it's nothing. Do tshuva. Give up your ego. And I will cancel that decree, and you and King David and myself will enjoy together in heaven. What does he say? He's going to be higher than me? I'm not interested. We have to understand this Gemara is a little bit strange. Something here does not add up. We have to understand what's going on here. This conversation was in the upper world. How does Hashem say to him, Chazor becha? We have a rule. A minute after you die, It's over. You can't do tshuva. Once you're alive, you can do tshuva. The soul came out of the body fell on the ground. Too late. That's it. You missed the train. Everybody scream after they died when they see the court of heaven. Wow, the religious rabbis were right. There is such a thing, court of heaven. Excuse me. Can I get 1 more month to live? Just 1 month, please, 1 month. Just send me 1 more month. Then you do whatever you want with me. Why you want 1 more month? I want to go fix the mistakes I made. Too late, my friend. After you see the court is waiting for you now, you want to become a tzaddik? Where were you all the time when you got the warnings? So how does Hashem say to him, Chazor becha? Is there any option like this? How can it be that a person that knows the whole Torah, yes, he has huge ego, but now Hashem is talking to him, not his enemy. David, soon you will understand what was his problem with Malchut Bet David. David had a son Shlomo, and Shlomo has a son Rechavam, and in the time of that time, the kingdom split to Israel and Judah. 2 kingdoms. He was the king of Israel, 10 tribes, and Rechavam was the king of Judah, but he sits in Azara in Bet HaMikdash. Only 1 king can sit. And he's thinking, when we go up to the 3 festivals in Jerusalem, Shlosha Regalim, I'm going to stand like an ordinary person with all my followers, and he's going to sit there like a king, and I'm going to be nobody. No one will go to Jerusalem. Block the way, put 2 huge statues, and say to the people, this is your God. Who would believe such thing? Who would believe such thing? But now forget about that. Now it's already a moment before you enter Auschwitz. By now you should have been a little bit more surrendering, no? When Hashem speaks to you, even that does not help. Even from Hashem. How can it be such thing? That's what you worry about. Who is going to be higher, King David or me? The Gemara says, wicked people do not do tshuva even in the entrance to hell. Why? Why? Let me ask you a question. If you had a big fight, you had an enemy, 30 years you're destroying each other, fighting, violence, lashon hara, lawsuits, hurting each other's property, no one you hate more than him. That was the time of the Holocaust. Now the Nazis took you over, and they're about to put you in the gas chambers in 5 minutes. 5 minutes before. And then one Nazi say to you, your friend said that if you will sign here that you apologize to him, he's going to pay $100,000 and redeem you from the hand of the Nazis. You won't die. So you say, I'm sorry, I don't need his help. Let me die, let me get burned. I'm not apologizing to my enemy. Smart or stupid guy? But there's a lot of people that would do it. I can prove it to you. There was one author in Israel, Rasha Merusha, Shem Reshaim Yirkav, that wrote in his will to his son, don't dare to say Kaddish on me. Fantastic. With his ego, he determined thousands of years of hell, of suffering coming to him. With one stupid letter. You stupid fool. What do you care if your son say Kaddish? You already died now. Maybe the Kaddish will save you. Maybe all the religious people throughout the generation, the top Jewish brains in the history were saying Kaddish. Maybe they know better than you. You think you know better than everyone? Just be quiet. If it will help, it will help. If not, nothing happened. But why the only chance you have, you make sure to lose it? I did not surrender. I have a student, Baal Tshuva, from Israel. His father was a very rich guy. He left him a lot of money. Very rich boy. In Israeli standard and even in American standard. He said to me, Now he's Baruch Hashem, serious, Ben Torah, got married. He said to me, my father was very anti-religion. Did not want to hear about religion. Even when he was dying from cancer in a young age, people came and told him, we're going to get this rabbi, we're going to do this, yeshiva, something, anything. Don't talk to me about religion. He said that people told him, what do you have to lose? You're in the end of your life. Maybe now the religion will help you. I never followed religion in my life. I will not follow it in the last few days of my life. Refused. How do I know that story? Because he heard in one of my lectures that I say in the hospital, everyone is religious. So he told me, yes, except my father. Refused to surrender his father.
Such a person gets reward for his son being religious?
Absolutely not. Absolutely. If a father tried to prevent his son from being religious, fighting him, abusing him, threatening him, tried to do everything he can to prevent it, and in the end the boy became religious anyway, and then that father died, why would the benefits of the boy will help such a rasha? He did everything he can to destroy the religion. If it was up to him, this boy would be who knows what. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם שהכל נהיה בדברו. I'll prove it to you.
I heard once in your lecture the worst thing that can happen is that Hashem can do for you is to lock your heart.
The Rambam say that they lock the gate of tshuva to a person. But I want to tell you something. The Maharsha 450 years ago was a big Rabbi Maharsha, big Talmid Chacham Gaon. And the Maharsha, in his time, there was a student, there was a funeral of a wicked person, and the student, before they took the body from the synagogue, he tapped him on his nose. But he hit him on the nose. And everybody laughed. Because everybody knew he's a big rasha. So nobody gave him respect from the yeshiva. Why? Shem Reshaim Yirkav. Be'avod Reshaim Rina, it's written in Tehillim. When a weekend people pass, it's a celebration to the world. You got to be happy. So, since they're taking him now to hell, nobody cared about him from the Bachurei Yeshiva. One guy even made fun, hit him on the nose. At night, this Rasha came to this boy in his dream, trying to choke him to death. I won't rest until I kill you. You embarrass me in public. Everyone laugh at me because of you. I'm never going to leave you alone. He wakes up. It's probably in my head. Next day the same, next day the same, next day. Sometimes even in the afternoon, he try to have a nap. He doesn't sleep for a few nights. The guy comes. Every time he falls asleep, he shows up. They told him, go to the rabbi, see what he can do. He went to the Maharsha. The Maharsha said, I cannot understand such a story. If this guy was such a rasha, mechalel Shabbat, eating trefot, how does he get permission from Hashem to bother a bachur yeshiva? Yes, what you did was not right. But for that, to give him permission to kill you and to harass you? I'm coming to sleep by you. When it happens, I'm going to ask him to talk to me, to come to me. I don't know exactly how they did it. Maybe ask him to come to him in a dream. Maybe, I don't know what. He asked him, why do you bother him, the Maharsha? And he said to him, because he embarrassed me in my funeral. So the Maharsha said, it's true that what he did is wrong, aval there's no proportion between what he did to what you're trying to do. What you're trying to kill him for something like that? Say, yes, I won't rest until I'm going to kill him. So the Maharsha said, but I have a question to ask you. I'm the chief rabbi here, and I want to understand, how do they let someone rasha like you, they give you permission to bother someone who sits all day and learn Torah? Doesn't add up. So I said to the rabbi, what makes you think I'm rasha? So he told him, because you mechalel Shabbat. Every mechalel Shabbat is rasha. The only ones that are not Reshaim are those who were born in Siberia or some kibbutz and never heard that Shabbat is a special day. They don't even know about that. or Jews that do not know that they are Jewish. It's also possible. Then they're not criminals because they just have no way to know. But everyone who knows there is God, there's the creator to the world, and the Jews receive Torah, and you hear about this Torah everywhere, and there is such a day Shabbat, and there's a lot of religious Orthodox people around. They know there is something like that. They had to go and check. So, what happened with him? He said to him, what makes you think I'm Rasha? He said, because I'm Mechalel Shabbat. He said, it's true. I made all the sins that you can think of. It's true. But, let me tell you a story that you're not aware of. One time I walked on a bridge in town, above the lake, and I heard screaming. I looked down and I saw somebody is drowning, a young boy, 16, 17. Without thinking twice, I jumped with my clothes into the lake. I pulled him out and saved his life. As we drying out outside, I started to, talk to him and get to know him. And I found out he's learning in yeshiva. He came there like mikveh, And he told me that he's a poor boy, he doesn't have anyone to support him. So I told him, you know what? Since I got to save your life, I feel a little bit connected to you. I'm going to give you 200 ruble every month. And for years, I gave him every month 200 ruble, which was a decent amount of money 450 years ago. So, I think 200 ruble in Russia today, you don't buy even pizza and milkshake. 400 years ago. So, but back then probably it was enough to live the whole month. So he said, when I went up to my court, the Satan presented all my sin and I felt that I'm destroyed. One sin after the other, millions of them. Then the defense came. Say, objection, excuse me, it's true everything you show, this is the world of true here, you cannot lie. It's not like here, lawyers lie all the time. Lawyers, liars. Over there you can lie. So, but you have to stick to the truth. And he said, well, all of what you said, it's true, except one. He was supporting a Bachur Yeshiva for months. For years. Every month. Well, he has a share in all the Torah he learned. Can't just wave it like this. And they had a draw. They don't know what to do with me. So they asked me, what do you want to do? What do you have to say? I say, I want to take revenge against this guy that insulted me in my funeral. I'm very hurt. The Maharshal said to him, you fool. That's how they want you to bury yourself for eternity, with your own stupidity. Since you supported the Bachur Yeshiva, it gave you a lot of merit. So now you have a balance. They want to see how you're going to behave with this Bachur Yeshiva. If you're going to go and continue to torture him, then the Satan will use it against you to prove that you help the other Bachur Yeshiva, not because you care about the Torah. Because if you care about the Torah, why will you arrest another Bachur Yeshiva? If you love Torah, you will never dare. You will never dare to hurt him and to make him unable to learn Torah. You're about to make the mistake of your life. Leave him alone, forgive him, and then they will actually won't be able to give you a big punishment, because whatever you supported at Bachur Yeshiva will count. But if you help one Bachur Yeshiva and want to destroy the other, that means the Torah is nothing for you. If the Torah is nothing for you, you won't get any reward for it. And they'll send you to hell and you'll rot there forever. After that, he never showed up. Never heard from him again. This is the Maharsha 400 years ago. So you see, by your actions, you show what your real thoughts are. Right? So, the Yerovam ben Nevat, he knew that only kings from the family of David can sit in Azara, in Bet HaMikdash. And he thought, it's going to embarrass me very much. I know rabbi that I used to work with, he only agreed to go to Brit Milah only if he's a sandak. Never as a participant. One time I told him, there is a Brit to this guy. No, don't come. Tomorrow it's in your yeshiva. Why are you not going to come? No, he didn't make me sandak, I don't come. So I say to him, but he gave you sandak in his other son. You can. By Sfaradim, you can. Yeah. He said, no, but you should have given me this one. I said, okay, but big deal, he didn't give it to you. You're not going to come to the Brit? He never agreed to stand as one of the audience. Why? It's his ego get hurt. Ego, number one killer by far. All the problems come from that. That should be your number one enemy in life, your ego. And everybody has ego. Some has bearable ego, meaning you can still control it. And some has... It's hilarious how they behave. Speak louder, I'm not so... The first book is Orchot Tzadikim, chapter 1, speaks about Gaiva. One person came to the Stipler, the father of Rav Chaim Kanievsky, Rabbi Yaakov Kanievsky. He had blorit. You know how the boys like their hair to go up? That's big ego. They want to show their hair. So what happened? It comes to the Stipler, and he asked him, Rabbi, this hair, is it separation between the tefillin to the scalp? Chatzitza. Because the tefillin doesn't touch the scalp. It stays in the air on a blorit. The Stipler say, before you asking me if it's chatzitza or not, I want you to know it's gaiva and shachat. Get out of my room! Throw him out. Stipler used to throw people out. You didn't hear about the term politically correct. Rab Chaim is very nice, soft, like a sweet grandpa. Stipler, people were shaking. Everybody knows. If you knew you're making sins, can't go into the Stipler room. He sees on your face everything and begin to shout. So what did people do? They used to take the hat down to cover the forehead. There, he was looking at the forehead of a person and knows all his sins. I have a person that he went with his driver into the room of the Stipler. He said, you don't know what an embarrassment I got over there. He got up and started to scream, take him out of the room. I saw the driver. In the end, the driver was making sin with a married woman. Shem Yirachem, what? Right away, so the Stipler in the middle of Yom Kippur War, 1973, was sitting in his room in Bnei Brak. They gave him a list of 40 soldiers who fight in a Chinese farm. It's called Chava Sinit, I don't know why, it's by Egypt. And there are serious battle there. The Egyptians surrounded all the Israeli soldiers, and it was mamash life and death situation. They gave the Stipler the list of the soldiers that are now fighting for their life to bless them. While he started to bless the first, second, third, he came to the seventh one, he crossed his name. Went to the next few ones, crossed, few of them he crossed already. So Rabbi, why he crossed their names? They already passed. Yeah, they already passed. And later they found out that at the time that they came to him, those soldiers were already dead. He had Ruach HaKodesh. When he was close to 90, I think he passed 90 if I remember correctly. When he was close to 90, all of a sudden he needed reading glasses. Today you need reading glasses when you're 40. He got it in his 90s. One of his students had the chutzpah to ask him, Rabbi, we know any surim belo chet. No one suffer unless he committed a sin first. This life, past life. But for sure you're guilty of something. He said it nicely to the rabbi. What could have possibly happened with a holy rabbi that watched his eyes all his life never to look at anything bad, that now he needs reading glasses? So he told him, a few days ago I walked in the street of Bnei Brak and I turned my face and for a few seconds I looked at the front page of the secular Israeli newspaper. That second I knew that I will pay for that with my eyes. A few days later, he couldn't read. Couldn't read. So, Yerovam put two big golden calf, now one, two. For one golden calf, we suffer until today. It's written in the Torah. How many people died in the sin of the golden calf? 3,000. How many people died with Korach and Adato? 14,700. How many people died with Bnot Moab, Bilam and Bnot Moab? 24,000. How many people died in Pilegesh Bagiva? 50,000. How many people died from eating meat? It's not written, but thousands died. How many people died with the sin of the Meraglim? 600,000. Minus 15,000. True, 585,000 people. Why the last 15,000 didn't die? Every year 15,000 would die on Tisha B'Av. But the last 15,000 in the last year of the desert did not die. Why? After 39 years Hashem decided to forgive them? Do you know the difference between someone who fights for his life and screams to Hashem for mercy, but he also counts on his doctors, or he counts on the medicine, or he counts on his money, or he counts on all kinds of other things? It's never going to be the same. When you know in your mind that only Hashem can save you, and you aim directly to Hashem and you don't have hope with anyone else, your chances to get saved are a lot higher than when you have Hashem and someone else. I'll give you an example. 39 years, every Tisha B'Av, they lay in a grave. Open grave, they lay and wait. 15,000 of them died. The rest comes out, and they live another year. Next year, everyone goes in a grave. Why they go in a grave? Because they say, listen, we don't have now the time to organize 15,000 funerals. So we'll make the graves in advance. Everyone will have a grave. And you lay in a grave, wait. If you die, you die. We just cover you. When we get saved, we'll cover you. But don't give us now time to bring you to the grave. Everyone should lay in a grave. So they lay in a grave, 15,000 didn't come. The rest came out. First year, 6,000 minus 15, 585,000 people got saved. Next year, another 15,000 died. 570,000 comes out. That's besides now. In the meantime, there's new children are born, new generation is born. So they're not. The number of Israel is staying more or less the same. But the people dying. Every year, 15,000. When they came to the last year, what is the difference between the last 15,000 people to the 585,000 that died? The 585,000 prayed for their life. They knew they have a chance to die. But they also knew they have a chance to get saved. It's no guarantee. Not everyone will die today. So naturally, there's no guarantee I'll die. Same thing, you got corona. It's hard for you to breathe. What is the Satan tell you in your mind? Don't worry. Not everyone died from corona. How many? 1%? 1 out of 100 in your age. Let's say you're 60. Okay, it's dangerous. You're 60. Maybe you smoke also. But 1 out of 100 dies. So you have 99% chance to get saved. So the prayers are weak. You pray. Hashem, please have mercy on me. I want to live. I don't want to die. I want to marry my children. I want to do this. I want to do that. I have this. I have that. But it's not a broken heart with screaming and crying and shaking and fainting. No. The last year, after everyone died already, there's only 15,000 left. That's it. There's no chance, maybe yes, maybe not. Everybody know tomorrow is my last day. No, maybe yes, maybe not. Because you know for sure you die, nobody can save you, only Hashem. So they started to scream, pull their hair off, please Hashem, we're so sorry. We got fooled by the spies, we regret it. They cried, it was such a horrified moment. They cried so much and screamed for mercy, all of them got saved. Just show you the difference between praying 70% or praying 100%. It's a big difference. Big. That's why it says, Sha'arei Dim'a lo ninalu. All the gates in heaven are locked after the destruction of the temple, except one gate. The gate of tears never got locked. So one rabbi asked, if they never got locked, why you call it a gate? Gate is something you open and close. That's an entrance, an open entrance. If it's always open, it's knisa. It's not a gate. Shar, it's gate open and closed. Why you still call it gate? The answer is, for some people it does get closed. Now when they cry, when they pray, even their tears will not help them. Why? Because they cry for nonsense. Oh, what happened? The Yankees lost. Oh, the Jets lost. Rabbi, one more basket, we will be the champions. Wow, I'm so depressed. Hey, wake up, you're a Jew. What do you care about the shtuyot? No, I'm a big fan. Oh, you cry for this? Tomorrow, chas v'shalom, when you have to fight for your life, or you're about to lose all your money, or you're about to go to jail and you cry, the Satan will use these tears against you. Say, this guy is a clown. Why are you accepting his tears? His tears are cheap. His tears are cheap. Look what he's crying for. A check for $1,000 bounce, he cried. Big deal. His tears are meaningless. But if somebody only cry for his children to be tzaddikim, talmidei chachamim, even if he cry for money because he has in mind to give the money for tzedakah and to make baalei tshuva and to support CDs, he has good intentions. So that's when when he finally cry, automatically goes expressed to the cherub of Hashem in a seventh rakia, seventh heaven, all the way up there. Express. Yerovam closed the way to Jerusalem. No one can go to the Bet HaMikdash. Hashem sent him a prophet. Look how much Hashem respect Talmidei Chachamim. Even now he became Rasha. Even now he became idol worshipper. Even now he became Machtia Rabim, making the nation worship an idol, which is a death penalty, Mesit La'avodah Zarah. But Hashem still did not wipe him out yet. Why? He reached the highest level of Torah. I can't wipe him out in a second. Let's give him a chance. Let's help him. Let's give him a push to the right direction. You're off the way. You're off the path. Let me give you a smack, push you back to the road. He sent him Ido the prophet. Ido say to him, gives him warnings, what's going to happen in the future. He gets angry at the prophet. He gets angry. He say, one day King David will have a grandson, tzaddik, his name will be Yoshiyahu. And he will sacrifice and destroyed the bones of all the wicked people and all these idol worshipper people who made stages of idols. Meaning, he's telling him what's going to happen to people that will follow his path and all that. And he say, I'm giving you a sign. What's the sign? The altar will split open. Will split now and break to two halves. And all the deshen, how do you say deshen in English? Ashes. The ashes will all fall down. Yerovam is not impressed. The prophet of Hashem is there, giving him a warning. It's cold as ice. Listen what it says. ויהי כשמוע המלך את דבר איש האלוקים, When the king heard the words of the man of God that called on his altar in Bethel, וישלח ירבעם את ידו מעל המזבח, he raised his hand to give him a punch. This Rasha is about to give a punch to the prophet of God. He said, catch him! The prophet tried to run. The soldier, hold him! As he came to give him the punch, his hand froze. Like this, stuck. Can't move it. You cannot bring it down, you cannot move it, nothing. The altar split quickly, everything spilled out, just like the prophet said. Yerovam was arrogant to the prophet. Now he has his hand in the air. Is that a proof enough to know that Hashem sent the prophet? But he still rebelled. He said, pray for me, just like Paro said to Moshe, pray for me, that Hashem will remove the problem. Pray for me to your God, not to my God, not to our God, to your God. Pray to your God to cure my hand. Not only that, after the prophet asked Hashem to release his hand and it was released, he continued to worship idols. His ego took him over, that's it. In Torah, there was not one thing he did not know. He didn't have problems of emunah. He knew Hashem exists. He knew the whole Torah. One last thing for today. The spies, they saw the giant people, the few giant people in Hebron. And there was a lot of funerals there. Why? That day they bury Yov, so the Goyim were holding all the dead body to bury it together. When righteous person will die, they bury all the other people. Why? That the merit of the righteous will defend all the wicked people. So instead of realizing that Hashem is doing all of that for them to be able to stay safe, nobody has time to pay attention to them, everyone is busy with funerals, they actually translated that the land is eating their own citizen. Meaning, Eretz ochelet yoshvea. This curse remained by us until today, what they said. Chas v'shalom, it mamash became like this. That the country, not the land, not the Holy Land, the state of Israel, ochelet yoshvea. See what's going on over there? Crazy. Cannot believe. People that what? As one guy told me today, believe me, if I didn't have death and I could leave Israel, today I would pack my stuff and leave Israel. That's how disgusted I am for what's going on here. Gay parade is now going to be in the next few days. 100,000 wicked people, biggest criminal on earth, declaring a war against the creator of the world. It's very important for them to show their mental disease to the world, and everybody has to clap. Wow, you're so great. Wow, you're so open-minded. We applaud to you. Yeah. That's what's going on. The religious Jews, the Zionists, the Datiim Leumim wanted to do a parade on Thursday to Jerusalem. They're afraid of the Arab, the police. They did not give them permit. Why the police didn't give them permit? They already know the Arabs, they're going to start shooting and throwing rocks. Who gets the rocks? The police on their head. They're afraid. They don't want to mess with the Arabs. They don't give permit. But to the gays, no problem. Do you know what's the biggest shame? You know what's the biggest shame? The Arab terrorist from the Muslim brother that joined the government now, he told them, I'm willing to complete to you to the 61 seats that you need, but I have conditions. Condition number 1, 53 billion shekel to the Arabs. Okay. Condition number 2, all the Arab relatives that are in the Palestinian territories will be able to come to Israel and join their family and get an Israeli citizen. That means Israel is going to have another 500,000 terrorists coming in now. in the next few months. Okay? Like Joe Biden wants to bring all the terrorists to New York, to America. That's what they want. You got it. What else do you want? Nobody will promote any gay rights while I'm sitting with you in the government. And all the lefty, liberal, wicked, hypocrite, garbage people, yes, sir, of course. Of course. If I would say it, I'm vile, I'm radical, I'm a fascist, well, they have all these names for me, Baruch Hashem. He said that this Muslim brother terrorist, of course, sir, you're right. What gay? What? We respect your belief. Let the rabbi say that. The police come to his house. You know, the police come to intimidate speakers in Israel. Rav Fanger told me, you're lucky you live here. I said, why? He said, if you live in Israel with your mouth, every Monday and Thursday, the Shabbat will pay you a visit. Yes. You know, I have a video that someone sent me 2 days ago. Because the gay parade come, they have a list of people that write in the internet against gays. Not kill them or anything like that. Kill them, you go to jail if you write. Nothing like that. Just enough with their brainwash, we can stand it. Enough pushing it everywhere, we're tired of this. They're mentally sick, things like that. Right away, police come, and you know, now everyone gets a phone. Everyone that comes, police, right away, people with a phone. So they record the conversation while they argue with the police. Hey, don't dare to show up to the parade. Because last time he demonstrated. Don't show up. He said, it's a free country. It's a democracy. I have the right to come and demonstrate. The court allowed to demonstrate. Listen, I'm not going to repeat what I say. You know, this bully guy. Don't dare to come. Why? I have a court order that I'm allowed to come. Last year you arrested me and I won in court. You're not going to tell me where to go. I can stand anywhere I want and scream. It's a free country. Listen, I'm not going to repeat myself. You do what you want to do and we do what we have to do. You got me? We understand each other? That's what they do. What do you think? He went to the parade? He won't dare. They break his bone. That's how they behave. Your own police is against you. I have a student that once he wrote about it, they came to his house, took his laptop and phones. They told him in 48 hours after we check what's inside, we'll give it back to you. They gave it back to him. The next year, the day before, they called him. Shai? Yes? You know what's tomorrow, right? What's tomorrow? The gay parade. So, I hope you're not planning to do anything stupid today. What do you mean? Don't write anything on social media. We're following you. That's Israel today. Eretz ochelet yoshvea 100%. Not the Eretz. They say Eretz. I say Medina. It's a big different thing. You know what's the difference between the state of Israel or to the land of Israel? Big difference. The land of Israel is the greatest gift of Hashem. We ruin it. We ruin the fruits. We ruin the quality, the size of the fruit. Every swamps. There were swamps when we went to exile. The land suffered tremendously from our behaving, as it's written in Parashat Bechukotai. The land is not the problem. If Hashem say the land of milk and honey, end of story. We don't know. It's not open for negotiation. The state became so wicked. Look who is ruling the state now. Look who is ruling the state. The biggest enemies of Hashem took over the Holy Land. The curse of the Meraglim, every generation is happening. They say it on the land, and Hashem made the state like that, unfortunately. And what happened? Listen, Rabotai, you're not going to believe what happened here. It's written in Tehillim, we say it on Friday night, 40 shana akut bedor. ואומר עם טועי לבב הם, והם לא ידעו דרכי. אשר נשבעתי באפי אם יבואון אל מנוחתי. Translation. 40 years. What does it mean, akut bedor? Who knows? Huh? Stare? Stuck? Akut. What does it mean, akut? It's a hard word, even for Israelis. 40 shana, it's 40 years. Dor means generation. What is akut bedor? You see how we are. We can be religious 80 years. We say it every Friday night and we don't know what we say. Huh? מה זה akut bedor? Akut comes from the word ktata. Fight. Argument. Fighting with someone. 40 years I have to fight with you. That's what Hashem said about us in the desert. 40 שנה akut bedor. Va'omar, and I said, conclusion, Am to'ei levavhem. Am means nation. What's to'ei levav? מה זה to'ei? מה זה to'ei levav? Huh? There are two kinds of to'ei. There is to'ei with tet, and there is to'ei with taf. Over here it's talking about to'ei with taf. Let's first explain. What does it mean to'ei with tet? Ta'ut. Mistaken. You took the wrong exit. That's ta'ut. Could be innocent mistake. That's not what it says here, to'ei levav. It says to'ei levav. To'ei comes from the word ta'atua. Ta'atua. Ta'inu v'tiatanu. We say in a vidui, in a confession. Ma ze tiatanu? Meaning we lost our path. Confused. We don't know that's the path, that's the path. Every day jump to a different ideology. University, that, gay parade, modern orthodox, conservative, reform, this kind, that kind. Full of errors in his ways. That's called to'ei levavem. 40 years I fight with them and their stupid ideas and ideologies and arguments. והם לא ידעו דרכי. They still do not know my right ways. And what is the conclusion of that? After 40 years? אשר נשבעתי באפי. I swear. באפי means with my anger, חרון אף. A moment of judgment and anger, I swore. אם יבואון אל מנוחתי, that I will never come to my Holy Land, to my land. And they all died. Besides Yoshua and Caleb, everybody died. That's what's written. What's to'im? Chazal explain. Kofrim, infidels, heretic. Today, I told you, speakers like this. I have a list of 16 of them. Speaking on YouTube, gaining views, biggest infidels. Teaching kfirah, teaching heresy, teaching that everything is random, that Hashem loves the wicked and righteous the same, that all Jews have a share to the world to come regardless if the righteous or wicked, teaching that there is no hell, teaching that it's no problem being gay, promoting Christianity, promoting Islam, promoting Christian missionaries, promoting things that are not ethical, such as drugs and all kinds of other things. I understand them, I do this. One comment sometimes in a lecture can cause a distraction. There's a reason why they're in my list. That's what Hashem is talking about. Am to'ei levav. כפירה חז"ל זה. כופרים, שהבדילנו, we say in תפילה, ברוך אלוקינו, שהבראנו לכבודו, והבדילנו מן הטועים, בתף, not בטט. Separated us from the טועים. טועים means כופרים. ברוך השם שהבראנו לכבודו, he gave us Torah, וחיי עולם נטע בתוכנו, he gave us eternal Torah. Thanks to the following the Torah, separated us from the infidels, from the heretic people. And this is what Hashem say. I brought them to the land. I killed for them so many goyim that they would be busy with their funerals, that they should finish their mission and come and give a good report on the land. And what did they do? They say, oh, the land killed so many people. There's a cursed land. Eretz ochelet yoshvea. It's such a cursed land. That's what they say. And made everybody cry, and in results of that, no one entered the land. The question is, there's an argument if Korach has Olam Haba, and the spies, will they have Olam Haba in the end or not? What's the pshat after they caused such a Holocaust? You want them to have Olam Haba? The side that recommend that they should have a share to the world to come after they finish to get their punishment in hell. What reason they have to support their claim? Why would they deserve Olam Haba, such spies that did for their own politics? What reason? Who has an idea why?
People learn from them also. It's the same concept.
You know, everything you hear in life, 3 different people hear 3 different things. I give you an example. 3 people sits over here. Somebody come to the room and he asks, יש לך כיסא? You have a chair? One of them is the owner of the house. He's thinking he wants to sit. He wants me to go bring a chair from the other chair room that he can sit. Next person over there in the room is a carpenter. He's probably want me to create a chair for him, right? The third one is a member in a Knesset or in Congress. You have a chair, meaning you have a seat in the Knesset. You got elected or no? So one sentence, 3 people, each one understand different thing. It's open for interpretation. How can you take a verse in the Torah and translate it in 3 different ways? Depend who you are. If you're wicked, you translate it one way. For instance, how a wicked person will translate the verse Lo tirtzach. You should not kill. This is how he will read it. Lo tirtzach. Lo tignov. Meaning, switch the meaning. You should kill. You should steal. How a wicked person will translate the verse that we say 3 times a day, Shomer Hashem et kol ohavav et kol haresha'im yashmid. He would say, Shomer Hashem et kol ohavav et kol haresha'im. Period. Yashmid already a new verse for him. Shomer Hashem et kol ohavav et kol haresha'im. Hashem is guarding the wicked just like his lovers. People play with the interpretation. How do you see so many people with corrupted mind? Very simple. Everyone has his own will and desire, and based on his interest, he plays with the Torah. He makes the Torah a shovel to dig with it. He wants to dig here, this one wants to dig there. And that's why you see people find something from the Torah, take it out of content, and preach it to the public, and twist the truth of the Torah. With the Torah, it's hard to do it, because the Torah is pretty clear. With the Talmud, that's become a very big problem. Because over there it's an ocean and so many pages, and people are not aware so much of the Talmud, so it's very easy to manipulate people. I give you an example. One person say, my son-in-law is a great boy, Baruch Hashem. We are so proud of him. He's so gentle and considerate. Every morning he brings my daughter the coffee to her bed. But my daughter-in-law, she's a real klapte. Every morning my son has to bring her the coffee to her bed. How can a person live in such a contradiction? When it comes to his own daughter, his son-in-law is such a mensch. Why? He brings his daughter coffee to the bed, so he's a grace boy. But when it's the other way around, my daughter-in-law, instead of bringing my son the coffee to the bed, he has to bring to her, which is the same thing of what you just said before, that it's a great thing. No, but when it comes to my son, it's the exact opposite. You understand? You understand what I'm saying? You know. What happened with this shchita? Oh, it's treif. Don't go there. What's with you? Mine is superb. In the end, they both buy from the same factory. Same step. Stamp. It happens all the time. So they first decided that they do not want to enter Israel because they don't want to lose their job, like the Zohar say. And now we will focus on all the negative. Rav Simcha Buni Mipashischa, famous Hasid, he once said that every Jew has to write 2 notes, one put in a right pocket and one in a left pocket, with 2 verses. On one pocket he will write Va'anochi afar va'efer, I am sand and ashes. And in the other pocket he would write, God created the human being in his own image. Why do you want 2 verses? I'm nothing, I'm something, right? Why do you need 2 opposite sentences in 2 different pockets? If somebody hurt your ego, disrespected you, or maybe insulted you, did not give you aliyah, did not give you respect, did not give you shkoyach, none of this. You have to pull the note, Va'anochi afar va'efer. I'm nothing, I'm sand, I'm dust. Who am I? Why should he even give me aliyah? Why should he even give me respect? Nothing. If people compliment you, you're the best, you're the greatest, you da. You gotta remember, I'm nothing. Don't let your ego go up. But what happened if they say to you, you have such talent, you can be the Nur of Ovadia, you can be Rav Eliashiv, why don't you come and learn? What is it 2 hours in the morning and you run quickly to work? Come, stay more. Dedicate your life for Torah. With a brain like you, it's a shame, it's a crime. Someone like you wasting it in other things. Who am I? I'm nothing. No. Now you have to pull the other note. In the image of God, He created me. I can be just like Him. Today we are the opposite. When people come and say, you can be the best, you can be the best tzaddik, get rid of your phone, get rid of this, who am I? I'm nothing. I don't know. No, believe me, I can't. I'm nothing. Baruch Hashem, I'm Shomer Shabbos. But if it's somebody insulting him, he's God already. I'll destroy them. You wait and see. I won't rest. Huh? השמיים ממעל ועל הארץ מתחת אין עוד. איי. One person came to the Chafetz Chaim. He said to him, Rabbi, give me a blessing for Parnasa. The Chafetz Chaim say, you're a successful businessman. You sell a lot of wheat, barley. trains full of wheat. What do you need more parnasa for? The Jews say, Rabbi, you don't know the whole business. Trust me, I need. Okay, gave him blessing. After a while, the communists took over Russia. Just like now in America. And just like now in Israel. That's it. Liberalism, communism, socialism is in full control. In Europe, here, Canada, Israel, all over. The leftists took over the world. It started in Russia. The communists destroyed the economy, obviously. That's it. Nobody can become wealthy because they take everything for them. One day, Chafetz Chaim passed by the market. There was like a black market, you know. He walks with a bag on his back. No, he saw a man walks with a bag on his back, selling. Chafetz Chaim came to him, Rabbi Yid, how are you? Oh, Rabbi, how did my bracha help or not? The Jew said, Ishtabach Shemo, of course helped. Baruch Hashem, business is great. Now everyone is starving. The Russian all became hungry for food. Barely bread you can find. 2 years ago, when business was booming, he asked for parnasa, as he was selling non-stop. Now, when basically no one has money to buy, he said, wow, now, 2 years ago it was horrible, but after the Rebbe's bracha, business is booming. I'll finish right here. Chafetz Chaim said, how come? Should have been the other way around. No, Rebbe, you don't understand, he said. When the world was great with wealth and food and everything was full of success, I sold trains of merchandise, but there was so much competition, everybody argued, lowering the price, returning merchandise, I'm not happy, there was worms in the wheat. After all the headache, I barely made 10% profit. So much work, pay so many workers, taxes, this, accidents, no blessing. Now, I take the worst bread with worms, wheat, barley, stones, mixed with that. Someone come and say, how much? 1,000 ruble a bag. Full of stones, look, worms. Get out of here. Don't ever dare to come by from me again. No. Okay, forgive me. Okay, no, it's 1,200 now. No, you just said 1,000. We barely have money. No. What do you think? You're doing me a favor? You know how hard it is to get now? Everyone is hungry. Okay, we'll pay you 1,200. Don't get angry. Nobody asks. Nobody returns. Chafetz Chaim said, that's exactly what's happening now in the world. This was 80 years ago. The Chafetz Chaim say, with all the generations, you had plenty of Talmidei Chachamim, thousands of rabbis. They knew the whole Torah. Everywhere you go, cities full of Chachamim. Just imagine you come to the yeshiva of Rav Chaim Volozhin, hundreds of big, giant Chachamim in one yeshiva. Each one of them could be Gdol Ador today. Imagine yeshiva with 400 Rav Chaim Kanievsky there. There was only 200 years ago like that. Everywhere in Europe you went. In Baghdad, in the time of the Ben Ish Chai. You know how many Chachamim you had? And all these places, Egypt, Morocco, Syria. Now, you can count on one hand how many Gdolei Ador you have left. That's it. Chafetz Chaim said, now when the numbers of Chachamim and Tzadikim is on a decline, when you come to Shamayim, they don't check with the magnifying glass the worms, the stones. It's not like when there was plenty of them. Every little thing you did, they check carefully in Shamayim. Strict judgment. Why are you like this? Look at him, and him, and him, and him. Now it's not like that. Everyone is Hashem Yerachem, what the world became. So if you're religious, You come to shul in the morning, that's already a miracle. You put tefillin every day, you buy tefillin, you put mezuzot, you buy the best matzot. You come to learn every day, you sit 3 hours in a lecture with an annoying speaker from Monsey, come all the way, and you sit and you're wondering, when is he going to finish already? That's big things in Shamayim. 200 years ago, in a lecture like this, said to you, what? Only 2.5 hours? Shame on you. Now you come, say, Hashem, I sat in a rabbi's lecture for 2.5 hours once a week. Psh, clap for him. Big shkoyach. You're lucky you didn't come to my lecture. I have the world record. I got to tell you that.
Is it online?
And that was 20 years ago. We didn't record lectures back then. Not yet. We didn't have website, nothing. I made the longest lecture in the history of the world. No, literally, official. It's official. It should be put in the book of Guinness. World record. I started in Ocean Parkway here at 8 p.m. and finished at 7:30 a.m. without a minute break. 11.5 hours and 50 guys and girls were there. They never dreamed that it's going to be until the morning. And there was not enough seats, not enough chairs. So many of them were sitting on the floor, leaning on the wall. Imagine sitting on the floor. You know how hard it is? In Tisha B'Av, I sit 1 hour on a stool. I'm finished the whole day. They sat for 12 hours on the floor, leaning on the wall, and now one person left. When I came out, it was sunny. Bumper to bumper, Ocean Parkway towards Manhattan. So I to myself, wow, sun. It's a day. Everyone became Baal Shul. All 50 people. One of them was a big drug dealer. One of them was the biggest DJ of Manhattan. 6,000 people a night used to come to the Limelight Club. It used to be the hardest club in Manhattan. Biggest Machtia Rabin became today's DJ in Hasidic wedding. All kinds of people there, mamash. One guy had yellow hair, one guy green hair. They all sat until the morning. That lecture I almost got killed, by the way. One guy jumped at me with a knife or a fork. But Baruch Hashem, there was another big gorilla there, strong guy. He grabbed him like this, boom, pushed him on a couch. Sit! Why did he want to kill me? He, by the way, was the owner of the apartment. Why did he want to kill me? Well, finish with this because it's funny. Today it's funny. Back then it was definitely not funny. Why he wanted to kill me? Because he was the father of the DJ. And all he wanted is to convince the DJ to leave the yeshiva in Monsey and come back to the lifestyle that he had, because they used to pay him $2,000 a night 20 years ago. It's like $5 today. Now what is he doing sitting in Monsey in yeshiva, barely reads Hebrew, you know, he's American, he's not Israeli. I mean, his parents Israelis, but in the meantime his father got divorced from his mother, got married to a Goya and had 2 girls. And the picture is on the wall, and they bought Goyot. And the father does not let go, stubborn guy, arguing. All he cares about, that's why he agreed to do the lecture, that his son should stay in Brooklyn. So after all of that, I say, you know what, I got to give him a knockout. If not, it's never going to end. So I told him, you know, you marry a Sicilian woman, and you have these 2 daughters here. You're thinking you have daughters, right? When you come to Shamayim, you'll find out they're not your daughters. Not only that, if they will decide to convert, because right now they're not Jewish, if tomorrow when they grow up, one day they will convert, you'll be able to marry them. He looked at me. What? I say, yes. When your daughter, your biological daughter, one day will come and decide to be Jewish and to be religious Jew, she will convert, you'll be able to marry her. But the Chachamim, Chazal, made a decree that you're not going to be allowed to marry them. But Hashem say, no problem, she's not your daughter, she's a stranger. She convert, you can marry her. But she's my blood, my DNA. Who cares? Who cares about body? You have no connection to her. She's 100% a Goya. She convert, you can marry her. Once you hear that, that's it. Grab the knife there from behind. Almost scream Allahu Akbar. But he wasn't Muslim. Just like that. I see him like this. The guy was sitting next to him on a couch. Big guy with hands like, grabbed him. You know, it's difficult to grab a person that's standing and you are sitting. Grab him like this. Boom, to the couch. Shef b'sheket. He told you the truth in your face. Respect it. He doesn't make it up. The other guy was barely religious. He's also a DJ. But he was a DJ in traditional events, you know, bar mitzvah. But the DJ, I brought him to yeshiva. Then the rabbi told me, you know, the yeshiva is not for him. It's hard here. It's hard Hebrew, Aramaic. You know, he doesn't read Hebrew. He grew up in America. What are we going to do? I say, Rabbi, keep him here. Every day is here. There's less sins. People go to the club, Friday night, Shabbat. Baruch Hashem. Then the guy said to me, listen, yeshiva is not for me. What will I do? I said, be a taxi driver. Drive. He said, how much are they going to pay me? $400 a week? I said, it's a good start. Someone was making $2,000, $3,000 a night. It's a good start until we see what's going to happen. And later, I said, one day, Bezrat Hashem, you'll be a DJ of religious parties. He started to laugh at me. What? I don't know one Hebrew song, one religious song, I don't know. I only know this goyish rap, this, that. I don't know. I said, listen, when you started to be a DJ of Goyim, did you know all the songs? No, you learn, right? You also would learn their Jewish music. Nah, there's no chance. You don't understand. I said, don't worry. Have patience. Hashem will not leave you alone. Few years later, I go to a wedding. I sit, I enjoy the music. Then I look at the stage. See a guy with the headphones like this. Tan, ta, ta, tan, tan. Looks familiar, this guy. Let me pay him a visit. I come to him. I say, wow, it's him. So you see, didn't I tell you one day you'll be a DJ of religious weddings? Now you make the same money, kosher, and you get a reward for making Chatan and Kala happy. Same money. Also make 2,000 a night. But in a kosher way. That's what the Gemara said. The Gemara said there was one student in yeshiva, poor. He walked one day from the window in a house of a widow that was very rich. Her father left her millions. And she had a box full of jewelry. All he has to do is jump quickly through the window, grab the gold and diamonds, and run. And he's a rich man. As he jumped in, opened the box, wow, all the necklaces, everything, wow. He grabbed it. He's about to run. He said, wait a minute. I'm a Bachur Yeshiva. I'm about to steal jewelry? What's going on with me? Where is my emunah? Shem Yirachem, I can't believe I've done this. Put it back, close it, jumped outside, say, if I deserve to be rich, Hashem has kosher ways to make me rich. Why do I have to become a criminal? He went to the yeshiva, he was learning. Few weeks later, he see the Rosh Yeshiva standing by the door of the yeshiva, speaking to that widow. His heart dropped to the floor. Wow, maybe she have cameras. There was no cameras 2,000 years ago. Maybe she saw me and she asked, who is this guy? And she finally realized, I learn here. Wow, they're going to throw me out of yeshiva now. What an embarrassment. Oh, I'm dying. Shir למעלות, אשא להרים, מאין יבוא עזרי. Please, Hashem, don't embarrass me. From all the people in yeshiva, the Rosh Yeshiva is walking towards him. Imagine the embarrassment. Wow. You, come with me. Hi, Moishi. Come, I need to talk to you. Okay, maybe the Rosh Yeshiva is trying not to embarrass me in public. He takes him outside. Did you see the woman that I spoke to a few minutes ago? Oof, he's about to tell him she saw you at 2 a.m. in her house stealing jewelry. She asked me, about a shidduch. She's looking to get married. She's very pretty also. Her husband died. He left her a lot of money. She wants the best learner in yeshiva, someone that she can support for life. And I recommended you. Would you be interested to go out with her on a shidduch? Of course, Rabbi. I'm already married to her. I got such a relief. I got married, and the Gemara said, what he was about to steal became him legally. Now think about it. Let's say he would steal it. He did not win his Yetzer Hara. He would steal it, right? And he think, wow, I became rich in a minute. Easy. Look at me. Then one day he dies, and Hashem say to him, what happened with you? He said, listen, I was tired of being poor. Enough is enough. Hashem say, you fool. Another month, it will all be yours legally. Now you have to go to Gehenom. In 200 years, we'll decide. First 200 years in Auschwitz. Then come back and we decide how to reincarnate you in the world to be a servant of her neshama to pay back for what you stole. Oh my God, it was all yours. It's similar to a father that lives with his own son. No mother. And the father said, it's been a while since I gave my son a nice gift. He prepared $100. It's a boy, 15 years old. He said, tomorrow morning I'll give him $100. Tell him, son, you're doing well, you're a good boy. Here is a gift for you. So he prepared $100. He put it in a pants of his pocket. The boy is thinking for weeks already. My father never gives me anything. I'm tired. All my friends have money. Why he doesn't give me? I don't care. I'm going to take. Comes quickly to the shower, check in the pocket. Oh, $100. Put it in his pocket. Yes. In the morning, the father comes. He puts the hand inside. Wow, the $100 is gone. Who could have taken it? It's me and my son here. Shem Yirachem, my son became a thief. So the boy stole what was his. And on the hour would get it. The difference is that now he has to get punished for that. For stealing it. That's what the Chazon Ish said. The dumbest people on earth are the thieves. Why? They steal from what's theirs. Meaning, on Rosh Hashanah, Hashem wrote to you how much you're going to make this year. Let's say he wrote to you $200,000. You don't know it. And you don't trust Hashem. So you're thinking, how will I increase my income in a fast way? Illegal. Let me do this, let me steal here, let me cheat there. So what do you do? You go and you go and you steal, and then let's say you stole 300,000, but Hashem wrote to you on Rosh Hashanah 200,000. What will happen to the extra 100,000? Your car got damaged, someone stole from your diamond ring, your watch broke, all kinds of things like that. In the end, what's left? 200 that you stole, but you would get it anyway. But for the 200 you stole, you have to be punished. But you're not going to get more than what Hashem wrote in Rosh Hashanah. What happened if Hashem wrote to you 200, but you stole only 150? He will give you extra 50 in a legal way to match it to the 200. So the 150 that you stole, you will be punished for. The 50 that you got legally, it's yours. When you die, you think, thanks to my tricks, I became rich. Hashem said to you, fool, everything you got in the end, you would get one way or the other. You just did not have patience. If you would count on me, same amount of money you made in the last 20 years, you would make in a legal way. Just because you decided to go and steal or to sell drugs, now we have to pay you and punish you for all the bad things you did. Imagine how dumb you will feel. All these efforts to steal, to live in fear, to try here, to try there, and in the end, I would get it anyway. What could be dumber than that? I would like to remind you, next week no lecture. All week no lectures. We'll be back in 2 weeks, Be'ezrat Hashem. Thank you very much. Baruch Adonai Le'olam. Amen ve'amen. Please download my app. Don't forget. Download the app. Soon we're going to start live broadcast with the app. Only with the app. Baruch Adonai Le'olam. Amen ve'amen. Rabbi